Hey Stitchy friends, welcome back to my channel. It's Mary the Daydream Stitcher. If you're new to my channel, this is where I talk all things cross stitch. So if you'd like to see what I'm working on and hear about my plans and just general rambling about all of the things related to cross stitching, please stick around. I hope you like what you see. So today is January the 19th, 2022. It's Wednesday evening. And it's been 2 weeks since I posted my beginning of the year whip parade. Thank you to all my new subscribers. I've gotten quite an uptick in subscribers since that video. Thank you for coming over and joining. And thank you to all of my returning subscribers that have been around with me for a long time. If you're watching and you haven't subscribed yet, please consider hitting the button. I would love to have you along for the ride. So, what have I been stitching on? Let's get right into it so I can show you my updates. So for Whip Go 2022, which is a goal kind of challenge that I'm participating in and have for the last several years, my two numbers that were called for this month, well, all of our numbers were 2 and 19 for those of us who are doing them. So before I show you my actual whips, I have a new start to show. Didn't think I would be saying this, but this is all due to Rogue Mama Stitcher. Thanks a lot, Amber. She talked me into starting a Soda Stitch with her, which I'm delighted to do because I love Soda Stitch. It makes me happy every time I see it. They're such cute, smiling patterns, and I have quite a few in my stash, so I've only done one before. I stitched Rapunzel a few years ago from the Fairy Tale series. So she was starting, is it called Lunch Love or Love Lunch? Cute kids having lunch, and kind of a Valentine's look to it, I think. But I decided to start Yoga Cats because it's one of my favorites and I've had it in my stash for a while. And Amber was so kind to send me some fabric among many other things last month. So I thought, well, how more perfect could it be than to stitch Yoga Cats on the fabric that she sent. So this is Yoga Cats. This is where I am. What can I say? Look at this fabric, you guys. Is this fabric not amazing? It is hand dyed. Not hand-dyed, it's hand-dyed by Rolanda, and it was what Amber sent me. It's so pretty. I told her the other day, I said, I don't want to stitch on it even. It's just it's a work of art, really. But yeah, so it's beautiful, but I'm happy to put my kitty cat on it, and that's as far as I've gotten. I really didn't want to put it down. Sorry, I told it not to adjust the lighting, but it's trying to do that anyway. This is the third time I've tried to film this video today, so. Yeah, I just love it. I don't know what count it is, but I'm guessing it's a 28 just based on the size of the stitches, but you know, I'm not an expert, so I'm not real sure, but it's fun to see that come to life. I didn't want to put it down. I wanted to keep stitching on it because I love it and it stitches up so quickly. It's fun to see something actually appearing as an object, you know. But alas, here's the thing. I'm trying to participate in Whip Go this year. Whip Go 2022, some of you are familiar with, some of you may not be. I'll post the link to more information down below, but it's basically a bingo that challenges us to get more done on our current whips. It's really good if you follow it. The numbers for January that were called were 2 and 19. So for 2, I had put down Mary Mary Needleworker. This is what it looks like. This is by Lindy Stitches, and this was my New Year's start on 2022. Well, New Year's Day 2022. I mean 2021. It was my New Year's start 2021. And here is where I was at the beginning of this year. And I've worked 4 hours on it now in this month. Just filling in. It's just been filling in. Getting that skirt filled in with Weeks Dye Works Seafoam. Now this is 400 stitches, which is 4 hours. I don't know if that's embarrassing. I am a slow stitcher, but you know what? That seems really slow to me. And it's all fill-in. It's all the same color. It's a variegated floss, very pretty. No color changes, no counting really, because I'm filling in around the letters. So yeah, I've got a long way to go. Once I fill in this skirt though, I'm hoping that the details, the accessories around will go quicker. Maybe I should alternate between the skirt and the other things to kind of break it up and make it a little more interesting. It's a massive skirt, but I think it's going to be great. It's in one of my favorite colors, so there's that. And that is stitched on 32 count Bramble from Picture This Plus linen. It's the called for fabric, and using all the called for, that was the fabric, and then the flosses. Long day. Yeah, it's mostly weeks dye works. And then 19 was Victorian Home by Dominic Davison, which is charted by Artisy Designs, which is a full coverage pattern company out of Australia. They've been around as far back as I can remember looking at cross stitch on the internet. They've had their website up. So here is where it was on my whip parade the last time I showed it. And here is where it is now. I hope that's showing up. Now, I don't know if you can see, but this thing has so much cat hair stitched into it, it's ridiculous. So just being real, being honest, I was like, I don't know if it's going to show up, but I'm going to have to say, because it's there. And I've washed it, I've gone over it with lint rollers and tape, and it's sewn in, guys, so I don't know. I don't know what to do. If there's anything else I can do, I might, at the end, I might have to take scissors and just trim, like, I don't know. We'll see. But I don't tend to work on this much, but when I do enjoy it. It's slow going right now because I'm having to go back and fill in all of the Pattern Keeper, you know, squares and everything. I love Pattern Keeper. I have nothing negative to say, but it's changed my stitching life, as I'm sure it has for many of you. However, I found that over the years that some of my info tends to disappear, and I don't know, maybe it's just my phone, maybe it's something that I'm hitting, you know, wrong on there, but I've had to more than once go in and start, and I'll open it and find a blank, you know, PDF, like the blank, like I haven't stitched anything, and I have to go back in and find where I am, and you know. And so that's been a little challenging because trying to remember, you know, get back into the groove with the symbols and the colors. So that really slowed me down on my stitching. I stitched on that for 3 hours so far. My goal for all of my whips this year is 15 hours. So I still have a long way to go for January. However, I just learned last year that apparently you don't have to be finished with your goal in the month that it's called. It's just that you start the goal on that month. And then the goal is to really have it done by the end of the year. Of course, that means that I end up procrastinating, but you know, that's okay. That's good to know. So I'll stitch on what makes me happy. And that is on, I'm not sure. I think it's an 18 count, could be 22 count. I need to go back and look at my first video that I showed that. I keep saying, I noticed, I was looking at some of my other whip parades recently, and I noticed I keep saying I started that in 2015. Doesn't probably matter to one of you people out there, but I did. That was actually a 2013 start. I think February of 2013. So it needs to get going. So speaking of things that you love and squirrel, because I'm all about the squirrels, I'm also participating in some Facebook groups, challenges. The last 2-3 years, I participated in Enchanted Stitches on Facebook, or Enchanted Stitching, but they have completely changed the format on theirs, and they don't have the specific challenges that they used to, which I totally understand. I'm sure it's making it easier for the moderators because it was a lot to keep up with, I'm sure. So while I'm still in that group, I was looking for kind of more specific challenges to tie into different whips. So I found pop culture stitching challenges, and they are doing some of that. So this month for January, I'm stitching, there's an acrostic for the month, and I'm also doing the acrostic for 24 hours of cross stitch. And I'm doing the January fun facts in that group. And also there is a challenge to stitch on 10 items for each letter of the alphabet over the whole year. So that's been fun. So I've been finding different things in my patterns to add to that. All that to say that for January, January 16th was Appreciate a Dragon Day. Did you know there was such a thing? I didn't, or I didn't remember. How cool is that? We can appreciate a dragon every day, but they have their own day. So for that, I decided to pull out my Teresa Wentzler dragon, which has not been worked on for at least 2 years, because I went back checking my Instagram and my YouTube channel, and there has been no progress since at least summer of 2020, or no, beginning of 2020, if not more. So, and then also January, there was a challenge for, it's named, the month is named after the Roman god Janus, who apparently was a Roman god of ships, travel, trade, things like that. So, commerce. So I thought, well, I can still do my dragon because it's called the minstrel and it has a minstrel in it, and minstrels traveled from town to town, so they say. So I have put the dragon on my Q-snap. This is what the completed picture looks like, and this is where I was, somewhere here, where I was last time that I showed it. And it's been in that state for a long time, like I said. So I pulled it back out, and this is where I've gotten on it since then. I started putting in the tree trunk. I really hope my camera's not washing this out. I started putting a tree trunk, and I started working down here in some of these columns and rows. I don't know if you can see the sparkle, but she's very sparkly. She has a lot of cryonic going on in there. And what else do I want to say? This is a 28 count even weave from Joann's, actually, which I was recently, no, I'm sorry, this is not Joann's. I ordered this from 123 Stitch. Never mind me, I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, it's a 28 count Lugana. I think mushroom is the color. It's slow going because there's a lot of blended threads plus the cryonic. And you know, whenever you're picking up a chart and getting back into it after a while, it takes a little bit of time to get your momentum back with the symbols and the colors and making sure, you know, you've got everything matched up. But now that I'm getting into that, I don't want to put her down because I'm worried that if I put her back in my bag and start working on something else, that I may not pick her up for a while. And I really feel like I'm on a roll. So every day I think, well, let me just put a few more stitches into her and then I will go to something else. But I haven't wanted to stop. So that's what it's all about, really, is having fun with it. And if it wasn't for those challenges, she probably would not be on my Q-snap right now. So I'm going to continue enjoy working on her. And I do color her. There is, I'm going to just ramble for a second because I haven't talked about this pattern in a while. It's in some of my, I mentioned this in some of my old videos, but if you're a new subscriber, you may not have heard this, but this Teresa Wentzler pattern is out of print. Unfortunately, all of her dragon patterns are out of print because she made a personal decision a few years ago not to release those any longer, which is, you know, it's her prerogative, but it's too bad because she has some amazing dragons that she charted. But on her website, and I don't know if it's still there, but on her website, this piece was accompanied by a poem that actually a customer, a stitcher, had written that had stitched this piece, and she wrote a poem about it, about kind of like thinking about the story behind this, and she posted it to the website, and then I guess the stitcher like framed it and put it next to the piece, and I thought that was so cool because it talks about like thinking about the story behind the picture. And because we spend so much time on these pictures, especially these full coverage, it's, you know, you do find yourself thinking about being in that scene, or at least I do, I know, being in that scene, having that story come to life. For me, the cross stitch patterns that I do are the visual equivalent to me of, you know, entering the world of a favorite book, because a movie is great, but with a book, you know, you're spending time immersed in that world in your mind thinking of it. And for me, it's kind of the same with cross stitch, just because you're spending so much time and you're thinking about what you're stitching, and you're, I mean, not always. A lot of times our minds are on all these other things that are bugging us, or that we need to do, or whatever. But when we're really focused on that piece, that's why I think we're drawn to certain pictures, because we would love to be a part of that scene, or you know what I'm saying. So basically, it's this idea of like, what is going on in this picture? You know, is this a dragon that is his pet that he takes with him? You know, does he ride it around? Or is it a wild dragon that, you know, he came upon and he lulled it into this trance with his playing? The kids and I read a book a few years ago where a dragon was kind of lulled out of her cave by a musician with his lute. She heard lute music. So I don't know if that's like a common legend type of thing with dragons. I'm not real sure, but you can tell I really I nerd out a little bit over this stuff, but it's fun and it's my happy place, so no apologies for that. Speaking of scenery and places I wish I could go and I enter through my cross stitch, I did work a little bit on Green Courtyard in the Shire by Cube Patterns by Maria. I did 250 stitches. I did this grass up here, and I did the a little bit of the window. This is on a 16 count Ada called Parchment. I was going to say something about it and I can't remember now what it was, so I won't. I put a little bitty progress on Fruits of Plenty, Still Fresh Fruit. Sal, am I saying that right? I hope so. I gotta write that down. It seems so obvious. It's the hashtag that Chris Cross Stitch is doing with a couple others on this Modern Folk Embroidery piece, but it always seems so obvious when I see it. Like, of course I know what that is, and then when I go to say it in my video, I don't always say it right. So I think it's Still Fresh Fruit, Sal. Something like that. This is modern, this is Modern Folk Embroidery, Fruits of Plenty. And I just put a teensy weensy bit of progress since I last showed it, where I worked on this light blue, where it shows 20 for the year, beginning of the year. Who knows what the last part of the year shall be? We shall see. Stay tuned. But isn't that gorgeous? Oh, so pretty. I did stitch actually a lot more. This was a piece I took down to my mom's one weekend when we went down. And I stitched on it happily along for quite a while, and then I realized that, oops, it was all wrong, and I had to rip it all out. So between Death by Cross Stitch and this Fruits of Plenty, I've never ripped so much and frogged so much in anything. And I really have to, because everything is so precise and lined up. It looks amazing and so clean. I love the lines, but you know, if I mess up a border, I really gotta fix it. So I did stitch a lot more than what you're seeing there, but you know, whatever. That is stitched on a 36 count, I think, called Silver Moon Linen, and it's I'm using the colors 799 and 3750, and I love them. I think they are gorgeous. So today, like I said, is January 19th. We've got, what, less than 2 weeks left in January, and I want to show you some Christmas cards that I got. Because I showed them, I actually did show them earlier, and I cut out the segments that had them in and didn't realize until it was well posted. And because 2021 was the first year, really, that I got anything, any happy mail from Stitchy friends and Stitchy kindness, that I just am so thrilled that I want to share in just a brief mention. I got a Christmas card from Chris Cross Stitch. His return address when I got it out of the mail said CXS for Chris Cross Stitch. Of course, makes sense, but when I first saw it, I thought it was the railroad line, which is I forget. My father-in-law worked for them his whole life, but I was like, why am I getting something from them? It looks handwritten, but yeah. And then I opened it up and I'm like, oh my gosh. So he sent me this adorable card that's totally washed out. Come on, dude, focus. Camera. Thank you. Happy holidays. Yeah, because, you know, we both, being in California and Florida, we love to build our snowmen. We have so much snow. And then I was also so excited to get a card from my friend Mel Patton, who is a longtime viewer and supporter on my YouTube and Instagram. That was so special. Thank you, Melanie. She is like, she's another one of these cross-stitch twins. Like, we stitch all the same stuff. And our whips are pretty much the same. Or she has finishes that I have whips, and I have finishes that she has as whips. So that's really fun. If you were to see like our displays, they would be almost exactly the same. So thank you, Melanie, for sending me this card. She sent me this adorable, it's really pretty. It's metallic and really highly reflective, as you can see. So my ring light is really having fun with that. But it's this adorable flamingo in the snow. So again, like I said, because we get so much snow in Florida, here is one of our flamingos. And really, guys, flamingos, where I live, they aren't in the wild. So I don't know if they are in the wild, like down south maybe, like in Miami area. But, you know, if you go to any zoo or even botanical gardens, there are flocks and flocks of flamingos. And they're so pretty and they're so fun. So I really enjoyed that. That was really special. And she sent me also this beautiful red Etoile DMC sparkly floss in 321, which is my favorite red color. I love 321. So at the beginning of every year, every Flosstube video, I say, I'm not going to spend very much this year. I'm going to do so much better with my spending, and I'm going to like not buy all these things so that they're just like in boxes and piled up. Although it is kind of fun to be able to, you know, pull something like the yoga cats, for example, and have that ready to go. But I really am going to scale back my spending this year. However, I do have some haul to show because it's still early. And these two things actually are from December, so I think I don't have to count them as this year. I never showed this, and I can't believe it, and I hope that my camera will let me show it. If not, here's the kit, and I will put a picture up because I don't want to open it. It's in sealed plastic, and I'm not ready to open it yet. This is called the Stitching Lesson, or Stitching Lessons, rather. It's a Riolis kit, and my mother bought this for me for Christmas. It was one of those, you know, again, she gave me cross-stitch stuff as like a, oh yeah, wait, there's another thing, like I'm just gonna throw in and add on as an extra. I'm like, no, this to me is like the best thing. I mean, you know, she's always very generous and everything, but I think she underestimates how much the cross-stitch gifts mean. And so this kit too, you know, Riolis kits are, the bigger kits are on the more expensive side. And so when she gave it to me, she said, I was really shocked when it came that it was a kit. She said, I thought I was just buying the pattern for you. And I was like, oh, Mom, you know, you would pay that for just the pattern? You know, she's like, yeah. So I thought that was really sweet because she's not a crafter at all. She doesn't do any crafting that I know of. She does read. She loves to read and she loves to garden. And she just got her a little dog over the last year. Jasper, he's a King Cavalier Spaniel. Maybe I'll put a picture in here, and he has been so good for her to have, you know, someone to take care of every day, and they really, really are close. And my mom was never an animal person, and Jasper has just like, yeah, shown a different side of her. This is the first pet. You know, we always had pets growing up, and but she never really was that into them, probably because she didn't pick them. She didn't choose them or choose to have them. And Jasper, she decided to get a pet, and I said, hey, look at this breeder is having these puppies, and she was like, ah, I don't want to spend that much money on a puppy. Ah, they're so cute, they're so great dogs. And then she went and got him. So he's been great. So anyway, that's my mom. She's wonderful. I don't know what I'd do without her. Love my mama. And then I bought this on December 31st on eBay, so technically it's 2021. And this is Janlin kit called Village Needlework Shop. So I don't know if you can see it. If not, I will put up a picture again, but hopefully you can kind of see it. They cover me up. Again, plastic. This one I was totally enabled by a video from the Country Stitchers, who are new to me. I had never seen them before. My viewer Steven, who, hi Steven, thank you for being so supportive. He had pointed me over to one of their videos in particular, and I enjoyed that. And one of the people that was showcasing their work, it was all beautiful. One of them showed this one, and I was like, I have to have it, I have to have it. So I went on eBay, I found it, I have it. I don't know when I'll stitch it, but I just love it. It's one of those ones, well, most cross stitches like this, I guess, but that's one reason Flosstube is so great. But the picture doesn't do it justice on the front. The finished product that the stitcher showed when she was finished was like so great. And if I was just to look at the picture, like, yeah, it's cute, but like I wouldn't just, I gotta have it. So Janlin is a great company if you haven't, you know, they're older kits. I don't know that they're still producing. You don't really hear much. I think they're old, out of probably no longer in business. I don't know for sure. But they put out some great kits. I stitched several of their kits years ago when they were still in the stores. I highly recommend them if you can get your hands on them. And Busilla too. I did a number of Busilla kits as well when I was younger, full coverage. And I love them too. Speaking of kits, I hit what I consider to be the cross stitch. Okay guys, I was gonna say jukebox. I totally mean to say jackpot. Cross stitch jukebox, boy, that's kind of interesting, right? I could go down a whole like tangent on that. Because I listen to certain songs, I listen to certain music with certain whips. Do you do that? Am I weird? I don't know, I am weird. But I have soundtracks for my whips. And that could be a whole other video. But I really do. But no, this isn't what this is. This is the jackpot. I feel like I got a real bargain unexpectedly. I'm gonna just quickly show, this is my haul for this year so far. We'll see how long I can go. But on Facebook Marketplace, my local, you know, surrounding area, I often look for cross stitch things, see if I can find a bargain on there, and very rarely is there anything I want. But there was this kit that's been up, Fender Ridge. It's a out of print dimensions kit from 97, I think. 97 or 98. And yeah, 97. And this lady has had it posted for like 4 or 5 months. And a couple times I texted her about it. And then I was like, I don't really want to drive because I thought it was like an hour for me. And she didn't want to meet anywhere. And so I just kind of, I'm like, I'll let it go. She was asking $20 for it. It's out of print. It's a lot more than that on eBay right now. Then finally the other day I was like, you know what? I'm going to see if she still has it. And if she does, I'm going to go get it. And sure enough, she had it. So I was like, let me go. I'll come get it. Do you have any other cross stitch kits? She says, yes, I do. I actually have this one too. It's called My Little Sunshine. I'd never seen this one before, or if I have, I don't remember it. And it is copyright. Oh, they didn't put that on the front. It looks like newer, but it is also out of print. 2010, is that right? Oh. But it is a harder to find kit and more expensive usually. So they have been, she said they were unopened. They have been opened, but I checked, everything's there. So I have to tell you guys this story before my camera dies on me real quickly. So I go up to the, you know, I say, I'm going to come, but I can't get up there until after dark. It'd be like 7:30, so something like that. And so it turned out it was only like 20 minutes for me, so it wasn't bad. But she said, well, I don't want to meet in person. Can you just Venmo me and I'll leave it out for you? I've never used Venmo before, so I was like downloading the app and trying to set it up and figure it out. And we get up there. My husband and my daughter rode along. And I get up to the house. It's, you know, it's a nice subdivision. But it was dark, and the house didn't have any lights on inside, but the front porch was on. She said, she texted me, you know, like, I'm going to set the kids out on the front porch, and they're going to be like around this side, kind of like behind the hedges so nobody sees them. So I'm like, okay, I guess I need to see the kids before I send the money, you know, because, you know, who's going to scam me on cross-stitch kits? I mean, seriously, in person, like, you know, whatever. So yeah, she's like, they're behind the bushes. You go up the walk, up the steps to the front porch, and then you go kind of around behind these hedges. And so I go up there with my daughter, and we're looking, and there's a lady, of course, coming along the sidewalk walking her dog. And we, you know, it was really strange. And here I see the cross-stitch kits. So I'm like, okay, let me figure out how to pay her, but like, let me look at the kits at the same time and make sure, you know, that that everything's all there and that it's what she said they were. And yeah, so anyway, it went through, $20. I got it. And you know, when I get back to the car, my husband is waiting. I had to say, the eagle has landed.